Across Europe, ancient stone fortresses stand as silent witness to centuries of human triumph and tragedy. But some say these walls don't just remember the past, they're still haunted by it. I'm your host, the Common Historian, and today we're exploring Europe's most haunted castles, uncovering the dark histories that may explain why restless spirits reportedly still walk these halls. From gruesome executions to tragic love stories, these are real historical events behind Europe's most famous supernatural tales. Our first destination takes us to the rolling hills of County Offaly in Ireland, home of what may be considered the most haunted castle in Europe, Leap Castle. Built in the late 13th century, Leap became the stronghold for the brutal O'Carroll clan. The most notorious space within these walls is aptly named the Bloody Chapel. In 1532, one O'Carroll chieftain murdered his own brother, a priest, during Mass at the altar, forever staining this sacred space with blood. But this was just one of the countless atrocities. The O'Carrolls were known for inviting rival clans to dinner, only to slaughter them mid meal. In the 1900s, renovation workers made a horrifying discovery: an oubliette, a dungeon accessible only from above. Within it lay hundreds of human skeletons, impaled on spikes at the bottom of the shaft. Prisoners were dropped through the hidden trapdoor, suffering a painful death below. Today, visitors and paranormal investigators report encounters with multiple entities, including an elemental being locals call it, describes as a small gray creature with a decomposing face that emits a foul odor of sulfur and rotting flesh. Others claim to see the ghost of a young woman who fell to her death from the castle tower. What makes Sleep Castle unique is how clearly its hauntings correlate to documented historical atrocities, leaving us to wonder if the sheer magnitude of suffering within these walls has somehow imprinted itself on the very stones. Our journey continues to the Carpathian Mountains of Romania, where Bran Castle stands tall against the mist-shrouded peaks. While marketed as Dracula's castle to tourists, its real history is just as chilling as the fictional vampire count. So Vlad the Impaler, the historical figure who inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula, likely only passed through Bran Castle briefly. His notorious reputation still haunts these walls. In the 15th century, Vlad earned a grim nickname by impaling as many as 20,000 Ottoman prisoners on wooden stakes, leaving them to die slowly in excruciating pain. The castle itself has a troubled history. Beyond Vlad, during the medieval times, suspected witches and plague victims were tortured within its dungeons. One persistent legend tells of a woman who was walled alive into the castle's foundation as a human sacrifice to ensure the structure would stand. Visitors frequently report cold spots throughout the castle, particularly in the secret stairway. Staff members have documented unexplained footsteps echoing through empty corridors at night, and some tourists claim to have captured strange mists and apparitions in photographs, often near the torture chamber exhibits. Whether or not Dracula ever truly lived here, something seems to have remained from the castle's dark past. From the darkness of Transylvania, we travel west to Loire Valley of France, home to the majestic Chateau de Barisca. At 7 stories tall, it is known as the Giant of the Lavore Valley, but its beauty hides a tragic tale of infidelity and murder. In the 15th century, Jacques de Brizay, owner of the chateau, discovered his wife Charlotte having an affair with a huntsman. In a jealous rage, Jacques murdered them both. According to some accounts, he caught them in bed together and stabbed them repeatedly with his sword. Other versions claim he hunted them down through the castle like prey before killing them. Since then, the castle has been reportedly haunted by the Green Lady, believed to be Charlotte's restless spirit. She often seen wearing a green dress, with a gaping wound where her face should be. Guests and staff report hearing her moans and echoing through the castle at dawn, particularly in the tower rooms. What's fascinating is that the de Brisket family, who has owned the chateau since 1502, doesn't deny the hauntings. In fact, the current Duke of Brisket has gone on record acknowledging the Green Lady's presence, stating that the family members have learned to live alongside her melancholy spirit. The chateau remains open to visitors, with some guests claiming to have captured the Green Lady's spectral form in photographs taken in the Orient hallways. Perched atop an extinct volcano, Edinburgh Castle dominates Scotland's capital city skyline. With over 900 years of history as a military fortress, royal residence, and prison, it's no wonder Edinburgh Castle is considered one of the most haunted locations in Scotland. The castle's dungeons held prisoners from various conflicts, including the American Revolutionary War and the Napoleonic Wars. Conditions were brutal, dark, damp chambers where torture was commonplace and death from disease, starvation, and execution was the likely outcome. Hundreds, if not thousands, met their end within these walls. One of the most frequently reported apparitions is a headless drummer boy. Legend has it he first appeared in 1650 as an omen before Oliver Cromwell attacked the castle. Now visitors claim to hear the phantom drumming echoing across the esplanade, though the drummer himself is only occasionally seen. The dungeons are particularly active with paranormal phenomenon. Visitors report sudden drops in temperatures, feeling of being watched or touched, and an overwhelming sensation of dread. In 2001, a large scale scientific investigation was conducted at the castle, with 240 volunteers who had no knowledge of its haunted reputation. Remarkably, nearly half reported unexplained phenomena, particularly in the historically significant areas associated with violence and death. Perhaps most chilling are the tunnels discovered beneath the Royal Mile in the 1990s. According to legend, when explorers first sent a bagpiper down to map the tunnels, the music stopped abruptly midway. The piper was never seen again, but some say his ghostly pipes can still be heard playing beneath the streets of the old town. Built within the mouth of the cave in the southwestern Slovenia, Pajama Castle seemed to emerge from the living rock itself. The architectural marvel was home to a real life medieval rebel whose end became the stuff of legends. In the 15th century, Knight Erasm Luger used the castle as his base while rebelling against the Habsburg monarchy. For over a year, he withstood a siege by imperial forces, puzzling them with his ability to remain well supplied despite being surrounded. His secret? a hidden network of tunnels through the cave system that allowed him to smuggle in food and make raids on the Habsburg lands. Arazim's downfall came through betrayal. A servant revealed the location of Arazim's toilet, the one valuable point in the otherwise impenetrable fortress. When Arazim visited this precarious privy, which jutted out from the castle wall, Habsburg's cannonballs struck, sending him plummeting to his death into the ravine below. Since then, Arazem's restless spirit is said to haunt the castle and cave system. Staff and visitors report hearing his anguished cries echoing through the tunnels. Others claim to see a shadowy figure pacing along the battlements at night, eternally standing guard over his unconquered castle. Explorers in the castle system beneath the castle report strange phenomena, lights that appear to follow them through the darkness, whispers whispering warnings in archaic Slovenian when they approach dangerous passages. Deep in the forest north of Prague lies Huska Castle, perhaps Europe's most conceptually terrifying haunted castles. Unlike most castles built for defense, residential, or strategic purposes, Huska Castle has been built for one reason only: to seal something in. According to legend, the castle was constructed in the 13th century over a bottomless pit believed by locals to be the gateway to hell. Before the castle was built, villagers would lower prisoners condemned to death into the hole on ropes. Those who were brought back had either gone insane or were dead, their hair turned white with terror. One tale tells how the first volunteer to be lowered down reported seeing winged half human creatures and other monstrosities emerged from the darkness. When construction began, the chapel was built directly over the hole, with the rest of the castle following, creating a lid to keep whatever was below from escaping. Adding to the castle's dark reputation, during World War II, the Nazis occupied Huska and allegedly conducted occult experiments there, believing the location held supernatural powers. Visitors today report overwhelming feelings of dread in certain areas, particularly in the chapel. Others claim to hear inhuman screams coming from beneath the floorboards, scratching sounds on the walls, and whispers in the archaic Czech. Black figures with glowing eyes have been reported lurking in the shadows, and a headless black horse has been seen galloping through the courtyard. What makes Husik uniquely disturbing is its isolation. The castle has no water source, limited strategic value, and was not on any trade routes. It truly appeared to have been built solely to contain something that some fear is still trying to escape. From Ireland to the Czech Republic, these ancient fortresses stand as monuments not just for human ingenuity, but to our darkest moments as well. The historical atrocities that occurred within these walls, murders, torture, betrayals, even to have left an imprint that defies conventional explanation. Whether you believe these castles are truly haunted by restless spirits or simply by the power of their own grim histories, one thing is certain: to walk these halls is to come face to face with Europe's shadowy past. The stones remembered what human memory has forgotten. preserving tales that would otherwise be lost to time. I'm the Common Historian, and thank you for joining me on this journey through Europe's most haunted castles. The question isn't whether you believe in ghosts, but whether they believe in you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And check in next week for another great adventure in history.